friends, welcome back to my channel. And you guessed it, another day of Every Bit Counts challenge. And today is the day of the tomato. Actually, this is gonna be 2 days of tomatoes. So make sure you come back here tomorrow for part 2 for what I do with the quarter bushel I have down here. So I got a half bushel of Roma tomatoes, not necessarily local, but they were from Ontario, for $12 for half a bushel. Like, that is a crazy price. So needless to say, it was $6 a quarter bushel, so I grabbed 2. So we spent $12, and I'm gonna take a quarter bushel and work with it today. And like I said, tomorrow I'll come back and see what we're gonna do with the other quarter bushel. Today it's gonna be salsa. Now, I'm the only one who eats salsa in the house. David's not a huge tomato fan. None of the kids. David and the kids are not tomato fans at all. David will eat it in like ketchup. He'll eat it in spaghetti sauce, but like chunks of tomato, no, he's just not doing. He does not like it. And that's fine. You don't have to like everything. I love it. So I like it as a snack with some chips. I love it on my tacos. I love it on my fajitas. I love salsa. I like pico de gallo better than salsa, but I haven't had much luck canning pico de gallo. So we're gonna go with what I found. It's called the best homemade salsa ever. So this better be good. So we're gonna do some salsa, and yes, it's 25 pounds of tomatoes that you're gonna need for this recipe. And of course, I've changed it a little bit to my taste, but I will tell you, I will link the recipe down below for the whole recipe, but I'm gonna show you what I'm doing today. So peeling tomatoes is horrible. Boiling them in the hot water, getting them in a cold bath, peeling them is awful. I hate it. That's why one of the good things I like about freezing them is that they pop off so easily when you run them under warm water. But because these were fresh and I wanted to get to them right away, I needed to find a different way of getting the peelings off. David and I cannot eat the peelings. We have a really bad reaction to the peeling. The rest of the tomato and sauce is fine, but the actual peeling, it really hurts us. But the chickens get it, so they're happy. So I definitely want to get these skins off. And I was talking to one of my ladies at Women in Homesteading Group, and she said last year she roasted all hers in the oven to get the peelings off. And she said, Anne, it made the best tasting salsa and tomato product she ever had. So I'm like, that sounds great. So I did a little more research, and this recipe actually gives you instructions on how to do it. So I thought, great. So what I've done is I got these all prepared last night, and then I did this morning. I cut them in half, put the half side down, and just till they start to wrinkle. This pan I forgot about, but it's okay. It's just the skin anyway. And yeah, they pop right off, and I have to say they smell amazing. So I'm going to be doing my tomato skins if I don't freeze any. This is how I'm going to be taking them off from now on. I'm really excited to see what it tastes like. And yeah, so as you can see, I'm wearing gloves. The first batch that I did this morning, I did not have any gloves, and my wonderful husband brought me home some just a little bit ago so I can finish, and my hands are burning. The acidity in tomatoes is horrible. And yeah, I highly recommend gloves. I really do. Ooh, these ones are still hot. So I'm just gonna, so in my big stock pot here where I'm throwing the tomatoes, like I said, the skins are gonna go to the chickens. I have, all my tomatoes will eventually be in here, so 25 pounds of tomatoes. I have 4 cups of orange and yellow bell pepper, 2 tablespoons of Himalayan sea salt, 2.5 teaspoons of cumin, 1.5 cups of bottled lemon juice. I'm trying to think, is there anything out? About 15 cloves of minced garlic. I used up the last of my frozen minced garlic from last year. And 3 cups of fresh purple onion that I got out of my garden. I harvested all my onions a couple of days ago. They're in my garage right now curing. And I believe that's everything. Oh, and a 1/3 cup of chopped fresh cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you don't have to add it. I know some people can't eat it because it has that soapy flavor. I'm luckily not one of them. I can eat it, so yeah. And that's all that's in here. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna finish getting the rest of the tomatoes in. So I have 4 of these casserole dishes full of tomatoes. It took all 4 of them. And I just piled them all in. As they cooked, I started like putting them into a separate dish once they cooled down so I could spread them out easier. But yeah, it worked great. It was fairly quick. Yeah, I'm gonna have some casserole dishes to wash, but I swear it's still easier than boiling them. I just want to mention too, if you don't have chickens or you don't have a problem eating the skins, you can absolutely dehydrate these and use them to help thicken stews and stuff. I wish I could do that. I really do. That is another, so you get 2 for 1. And you know how I love a 2 for 1 out of 1 product. All the tomatoes in the pot, boy, that just fit them. And my last ingredient is going to be a jar of my homemade tomato sauce. And I might add some tomato paste if this is not as thick as I would like it. I like my sauce a little bit thicker. I also want to mention this from 4 Jars. Other than the lids, this is probably my favorite item from 4 Jars. I love this thing. It's a jar lifter. So you can get your jars off a lot easier with this. You don't have to, you know, pry them open with a spoon or a knife. And if you want to save your lids for storage that doesn't have the hole in them and stuff. So, I highly recommend this. And if you use my code Bucket List Homestead on their website, the American and the Canadian, you receive another 10% off, including this, not just the lids. So we're going to add this in there. Hopefully it fits. Woo! We are full. I'm trying to stir it, but I might have to wait till it starts cooking down a bit. So while this is cooking, I'm going to get my canner going.
Where am I looking?
The canner. It's pretty heavy. Right here in the sink there. Yeah. Put it right on that burner for me. Yeah, right there. Thank you. Thank you. It's starting to come to a boil, so we're going to put it down and let it simmer for 10 minutes. And I've also turned the heat down on my canner. It's boiling, so I've just got that down to low. We'll turn it back up when it's time to can. This has been cooking for about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to add the tomato paste. I can already tell I'm going to want it thicker. So this is 156 milliliters.
My wish is that you don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I'm running, and you should too, and hit that subscribe button. I know what you've been asking yourself. How can I make a difference? I'm just one person.
I can make a difference, but I'm just one person.
Well, my friends, I'm here to tell you that it's free, quick, and easy. Share this video on your social media and make that difference today.
Okay, we are ready to jar up. Now, the recipe says 5 to 9 pints. Okay, friends, so I am telling you what the recipe says 9 pints, but when I first read it, I was reading it wrong. For some reason, I thought I saw a different word, so just keep watching. This looks like a lot more than 5 to 9 pints to me. I mean, that looks like a lot. I don't know about you, but that looks like a lot to me. So I have 15 jars here. And I have more if we need it, but we are just gonna, you know what? I think I'm debating, I might take my immersion blender just a little bit to chop up the tomatoes a little bit. part was optional. You don't have to do that if you want. Everyone has a preference for what kind of textures they like for their salsa, and I don't like big chunks of tomato. To me, I know this is silly because there's more tomato than anything, I think the tomatoes take a back seat to the peppers and the onions and the garlic. That's what I like. So, all right, we want a 1/2 inch headspace. Yep, 1/2 inch. I'm definitely gonna get more than the recipe is calling for. So I'll give you all time to guess how many you think I'm gonna end up getting. And you can put it down in the comments down below and I will let you know the total when I'm all done. We're gonna get this first batch into the canner and we're gonna check the headspace on everybody. A little too much in that one. And we're also gonna wipe the rims all down because I made a mess. I've got salsa on the lids here. I've got salsa on the canning mat. Yep, it's a mess. And these are gonna go into the canner for 10 minutes. Okay, all the jars are out of the canners. Canners, that's right. I end up using my Nesco water bath canner. There goes some lids popping because I never would have got this done. Okay, first, full disclosure, I read the recipe wrong. For some reason, I thought it said 9 half pints. I could have sworn it said half pints. The recipe calls for, it says it will make 9 pints. Okay, there's a reason why I have so many that way. But even if I had done all pints, I still would have gotten way more than 9. So I'm gonna give you all a minute to guess how many jars I got. I will say I end up having to use pint jars because I ran out of all my half pints. There's not a half pint jar left in this house. I looked everywhere. You know you've been canning a lot when you're going into your secondary stash of jars. So yeah, so I did use some pints and the rest of my half pint. So I am going to taste test this. Well, I'll give you all a second to decide what I had. I left a little bit, a couple of tablespoons in a bowl so I could try it for you all. And I hope I like it because like I said, I'm the only one who eats it and I seriously have 3 years worth of salsa. And the thing I don't like about having it in the full pints is like where I am the only one that eats it, I'm gonna have to eat a lot more salsa, which I guess is not a bad thing, when I open it. Hopefully my dad likes it when they're here in October and we can get through some of the bigger jars together. Cheers. Okay, that's good. That is really good. Best homemade salsa is the name of the recipe. Believe me, I'll link it down below. I will say, like I said, I showed you what I did. I did not follow the recipe exactly. I didn't add the sugar, which was optional because my tomatoes were sweet enough for me. I did change lemon juice for the apple cider vinegar because I don't like my salsa with vinegar. I like it with lemon juice. And I use the exact same amount of lemon juice as there is in vinegar. So my pH will still be okay. Bottled lemon juice. I didn't use the jalapenos because I don't like it spicy. So I just switched out jalapenos for bell peppers. That is about the only thing, I think that's it. That's the only thing different I didn't do. So I don't know why I have so many. Okay, are you ready? Do you have your guesses? Here we go. You guessed 21 half pints and 10 pints, you win. I have this much salsa, like I'm not kidding when I say this is like 3 years worth of salsa, because I am the only one who eats it and I don't eat it like every week. So maybe 3 years is a little bit exaggerating, but it's definitely a year, more than a year's worth for me. So, whew, that's a lot of salsa. It's a lot of chips I gotta get. It's seriously good. That is a delicious salsa. I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I like it because I would have had to be giving away a lot of salsa. There goes somewhere pings. I love that sound. Okay, friends, that wraps up part 1 of the tomatoes. We're back at it tomorrow to get through the rest of the tomatoes I have, that other 1/4 bushel. I am really tired. I am really tired. So I will see you all tomorrow.